Hi everyone, Maddie here again talking about Lab 3, the 3-point bending test. So just like Lab 2, we're going to be using the MTS Universal Testing Machine with just some slight modifications. So again, I'll point out the load cell. It's very important to check what your maximum force that your load cell can withstand, and don't just assume you know what it's going to be. That maximum force is going to be on the side of the testing machine. So you can look there before beginning your lab. We have a different apparatus that we're going to be using for the 3-point bending test, and we can see that here. We have 2 mounts, and we will place our specimen on top of the mounts, and we'll see that when we go to begin testing. Another thing to ensure is that all of these pieces are in place before beginning to place our specimens. So we don't want anything to be moving, and we can see that we have the setup done pretty well. We don't have anything moving very much. We have the same pieces. We have our remote again. We have again our emergency stop to be aware of, and we are wearing our safety glasses. Again, safety glasses are super important because we will be working with glass and glass breaking. So be sure everyone in your lab group has those on. So now I will show what it's going to look like to set up our specimens on our bending apparatus. I will take one of our glass specimens. I will place this on top of the mount, fairly centered across both of these mounts. Another thing to point out is that we want to make sure we know our dimensions between our 2 mounts, because that'll be very important when doing calculations. So now I'll take my remote, and I will begin very carefully lowering the upper clamp down towards the lower bending apparatus. Make sure everything's unlocked, and begin carefully lowering until we're just above our glass slide. I'll use the fine movement control as I get closer to the glass. All right, and it looks like I'm fairly close, so now we'll go to the computer software to do the rest of the work.
All right, it's Daniel again, and I'll be walking us through the software for Lab 3. So we're back in TW Essential Test Suite, and so we'll be selecting the 3-point flexure template. All right, with the specimen loaded, you will enter in the appropriate specimen dimensions, and I'll be using a test rate of 0.04 millimeters per second and a data acquisition rate of 10 hertz. You can adjust this however you see fit. So we will begin by zeroing out all of the relevant fields. And we will begin our run by clicking on the green arrow. And we will reset the lock in this case. And with the lock reset, we will run the test by clicking on the green arrow. We will confirm our variables. And what you're seeing now is actually noise before it contacts. It is contacting the specimen now. Once the specimen is finished, we will hit return to 0. This returns the crosshead to the original position so you can run the next trial. To export this data, we will go to File, Export, Raw Data, and save it to the relevant folder, making sure to select the appropriate run as not to overwrite our previous trials. Once you get through a trial, there will be broken pieces of glass present on the machine and on the floor. Use a set of gloves to collect all the broken pieces and put them in the broken glass disposal bin.